السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مغفورا وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا مرحوما ولا تجعل بيننا ولا فينا شقيا ولا محروما. اللهم آمين اللهم آمين اللهم آمين. جزاكم الله خير for showing up for this town hall meeting. It's Friday afternoon, but again, this is a very important stage of our center, and we want to make this as a habit, inshallah, where as a board we come and we have these town hall meetings with the community, and so that the community have the chance to ask whatever questions they have. So first, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to start with presenting the board members. Okay. Brother Zahid, Brother Salim, just come here. All of you just come here. Brother Salim, where is Brother Zaki? Okay. So we have Brother Zaki, Brother Zahid, Brother Salim, Sister Paula, myself. We have three other members. Brother Akmal, his daughter has her graduation today. He will be late. Brother Shams, the vice president, unfortunately, he's in the operating room. He just texted me. He will be coming late. He had some emergency that came in his job. And then there is Br Nuruzzaman. For those of you who don't know, he had a knee surgery, and he's not going to be able to come, inshallah. But so far we are 8 in the board. Myself, I'm the president. Brother Shams is the vice president. Brother Zahid is our secretary. Brother Salim is our treasurer. Sister Paula, she's responsible for food drive. She takes care of serving the needy families, whether it's distributing zakat money, the food drive. Also, she's responsible for Ramadan committee planning, planning for Ramadan events. Brother Zaki is our IT guy. Jazakallah khair. He's doing a great job, like in setting up all the tech support and the tech resources we need. And he's been doing this, mashallah, even before he joined us in the board. So this is just kind of a quick presentation, so that if you have, even beyond these whole town hall meetings, if you have any question you want to ask, and you know who the board members are, and you know who the board is. Okay, so this is going to be mainly open question. So you feel free to ask any question. I'm going to just start, give you a quick overview, summary on our situation. If you bear with me, I'll give you a quick history of this place. For those of you, some of you are new, they were not here like from the beginning. So this whole project, I think, started back in probably 2019, even before that. At the time, I was not part of it. There was a meeting, and founders found this place and decided to, they said this is a good place for the masjid. There was, again, I'm going to just say this with a lot of caution because I was not there. So I try to report as little as possible, so I don't give any wrong statements. apparently there was a disagreement at that point, like on how to buy the place, whether the community can buy it or not. And Dr. Br Jaleel decided he's going to buy the place. He bought it under his name, okay? And he bought before, right before, like I think the closing was like 3 days before the start of Ramadan 2019. 3 days, that was the closing date. And then the first day of, for us as a community in this place, was the first day of Ramadan 2019. And the organization, which is MACCLM, was established after that. That means I'm talking about legally speaking, like applying for the organization, paperwork, and with the state and the town and so on. All that happened after that. And then there was a board was made. At the time, I was not part of that board. Many of the brothers you saw were not also part of that board. And they decided there was a lease signed, okay? And the lease says, the lease ends in April 2024. So next April, end of next April, that's when the lease for this place will end. The agreement, at least the oral agreement, was that this place was bought for the center, like for the community. And whenever the community collects the money to buy it, Brother Br Jaleel will transfer to the community. And with his own words, again, words, nothing written, that he will transfer to the community for whatever it cost him. Like whatever he incurred as cost, be it the price, whatever interest, like whatever mortgage, extra money he paid as part of the mortgage, any renovations he did, property tax, the mutual understanding. And again, I'm going to keep emphasizing this, it was an oral agreement or a promise, whatever you want to call it, is that whatever that cost may be, it will be incorporated into the price that he will, with which he will sell the property to the community. Unfortunately, Ramadan, not the past Ramadan, the Ramadan before, right before Ramadan, he decided, no, he cannot do this anymore, and then he wanted to leave. He was the president. He wanted to leave the board. We tried to kind of persuade him not to stay. Continue. He said, no, I've been doing this for 2 years. It's too much, and then I cannot do it. And then after he left, things started to change, unfortunately, and different things went on. I'm not going to go into all the details, but we can discuss these, as we go. The bottom line is the feeling or the what we start getting from him is that he changed his mind about the agreement or the oral agreement or the promise he made. And that became clear when he sent us we got different communications through his lawyer. And then the common theme, if I may call it that way, in all these communications is he kept insisting there was no agreement. Almost in every communication we get with him, from his lawyer, it says there was no agreement. There was no agreement to sell. There was no agreement on the price. Okay? So this is kind of a quick overview of where we are. Now, I go back and remind you the lease ends 2024, April 2024. We have, of course, this is now, it's a masjid, alhamdulillah. We have a weekend school. It's going to start again in September. And we have to resolve this issue. Um, at this point, we tried everything. In the beginning, we kind of, as a board, we kept it quiet because we said, okay, let's give him time. He may, he may change his mind again. He may come back. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So now, this is where we are. At the same time, as a board, we've been also looking into different options, different properties, checking properties, and we're still at this point. Even today, we've been checking. Yesterday, all this week, the week before, almost continuously looking into what's out there and what's feasible. Our current financial situation, I think, just got the confirmation from Brother Salim, our treasurer. We have $662,000 dollars in the bank, about 662,000. That's what we have. We have commitment from some of the brothers for about 400K or plus or minus as Qard Hasan, no interest loans. That will bring us to 1 million. The properties we've been looking at, I think it's fair to say we're talking about from 1.4 to 2 million. And it can, some it could go even more than 2 million. Okay? That's what we're looking at. We also been looking at different options like financing options with Islamic banks, non-Islamic banks. And we're gonna also start approaching the community again and see if there are other people who are able and willing to give us no interest loans. So the more we collect, the easier it makes for us to buy a place. But the bottom line is this. This is what I think, again, this is open to discussion. I think throughout these 3 years, it's clear that this community needs a masjid, a community center, a weekend school. We definitely need it. We cannot ignore it. Through our events, mashallah, we have been having a lot of interest. This year we had the weekend school. The number of kids attending were between 80 and 100 kids. So just to give you an idea, like 80 to 100 kids that are attending our weekend school. If you look at our Friday prayer, mashallah, this hall is full every Friday. Eid prayers, other events, mashallah, there is a big turnout. So I think if there is something we should agree on, is that we really need a center. Unless you think otherwise, let me know. So I'll stop there, and then I'll leave it for all of you for any questions you have. He will.
So thank you for organizing this. So, we've talked about this many times. And
yes.
One of the things that is really upsetting about this whole process is that, countless times over the past 4 years, it was told to the community that we're going to raise money with the intention that we're going to buy this place.
Mm-hmm.
And all the money we raise will be going to buy this place. This was by the former president. This was said over and over again. So people gave money for this purpose, is to buy this place. Not a new place, not to move, but to buy this place. It's not, I don't know, legally it seems like maybe we don't have any options here because there was no contract signed. But in my mind, as a Muslim, this is like a fraud. This is a fraud in my view. And I know some people say like let it go. It's not a big deal. I have a hard time letting this go. I don't understand how this situation can arose, and I don't understand how we can just let it go. it hurts my heart to feel like we can just let things go like that.
Okay.
So I wanna understand the board's view on this and why we should just let it go as a community.
Okay. Jazakumullah khair. That's a great question. So let me start from the beginning. And how did we come to this stage? Why are we facing this? What you said is true. So in the U.S., according to the as most of you know, I'm a lawyer. I can tell you from a legal perspective, any real estate contract, okay, if you're talking about a mortgage contract, buying a house, if you're renting a house for more than 1 year, the court will not take anything not in writing. It has to be in writing. And it has to be signed by the person, the seller. Okay? Now, if we talk here in this case, he may argue there was a writing, there was a lease. The lease is the contract, because the lease has an option to buy clause. So then what's the problem? The problem is the way the lease was written, formed. My understanding what happened is this. Unfortunately, Dr. Br Jaleel, he was the president. We looked as a board, we looked at what went on during that time. I think that the board at the time, like, assigned one person to sign the lease, like he's going to be dealing with Dr. Br Jaleel as the assignee, because so this property is under a trust, a family trust, and that trust, the trustees for that trust are Dr. Br Jaleel and his wife. Because he's also the president, so he cannot like just sign the contract both ways, as the trustee and then as the president of MACCLM. So the board at the time, they assigned one board member who's going to be the person responsible for this transaction. Apparently, they decided not to hire a lawyer. That's the big mistake. Why I'm saying this? Because on one side, you have the landlord. It seems like he had a lawyer. I don't know, but it seems like he had a lawyer. On the other side, you have the organization, MACCLM. If you're entering a transaction, why do you need a lawyer? You need a lawyer to review that contract. You're going to tell them, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want from this transaction. And then they're going to look into that contract and tell you, does this contract really meet your expectation, what you're looking for or not? Is there any problem in this contract or not? Unfortunately, that did not happen. So that's one. Two, even many of the board members I asked, by the way, the lease was not signed by all the board members. It was signed by only 3 board members. I don't know why, but this is a fact. And then when I asked even the board members who signed, they were not aware that the option to buy was just for 1 year. So the lease says an option to buy. So you remember what I told you earlier, like what was the promise? And you know, many of you heard it from Dr. Br Jaleel, that he's going to sell it back to the community for whatever it cost him, right? That's what you heard in many of the fundraising events, or we had at least one meeting when we were talking to some of the brothers about Qard Hassan. And he also iterated that. He iterated that in many of our board meetings. But the problem is that it never made it to the lease. It should have made it. If the lease was properly written, that promise, that agreement, that oral agreement should have made it to the option to buy clause. It didn't. What the option to buy clause says, it says the lessee, which is MACCLM, has the obligation to buy this place within 1 year from signing the lease. The lease was signed in 2019. So now that option to buy expired in 2020. And it doesn't state any price, doesn't state anything. The only thing it says, which is also was part of the oral agreement, it says if the lessee buys it within 1 year from signing the contract, then whatever rent paid will be accounted as part of the price. So you see the discrepancy between the oral agreement and what was written. The problem there was no lawyer to check that. There was nobody. I understand at the time, all the board members, they worked with a trust, trusting one another, said, okay, he did all this. It's not gonna, it's not gonna make a difference that it's written or not. Nobody anticipated this apparently. But that's the first part, how we got here. Now, second part, what can we do? Or now if you wanna, I hear your it's not just emotions. It's it's a valid point. I mean, I can tell you, I felt even worse than that for months and months and months, and it was a nightmare for me. I can tell you, I was pushed to be president. I never asked for it. I said no multiple times. For the brothers who are with me, who were there, I said I cannot do it. My job, given my job, and I never expected this, honestly. And as soon as I took responsibility, I was facing this. So I know how you feel about it. I know how the community feel about it. I can tell you, I felt worse than you did for a long time. Now, because we have no written contract, legally speaking, we are in the gray area, to be honest. You don't know how the outcome will be. Now, as a community, do we really want to go into litigation and pay God knows how much, 100K, 200K, 300K for whatever, for lawyers and so on, and you don't know the outcome? As I said, this is open. Yes, and I'm just laying the facts. Okay, I'm not giving my opinion here. I'm just explaining the thought process, what we're thinking. As a community, is it really worth it to go and God knows how long is it going to take, how much is it going to cost, and then we don't know what the outcome is going to be. Again, I'm talking legally speaking here. Okay, forget leaving all the emotions aside. In my, because this is kind of a mistake on both sides, So this is why we are at this point, and then why we're thinking of different other alternatives. But again, it's up to the community. It's open questions.
Can I? Sorry.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
You listed certain reasons why we need a center. Jummah, Ramadan, school. My question is, well, you don't need for to have a Jummah, you can always rent a hall every Friday. Different towns rent it.
Mhm.
But the school, you can rent a public school right here. My question is, does the community really think there's a need for the masjid here? Today, I don't think. There's no one here to support. I mean, I saw a lot of people in Ramadan. I see a lot of people in Saturday halaqas. What's happening? What is it that we don't see anyone today to come forward and support that there is a need for the masjid in the next section?
Jazakumullah khair. I try not to to judge the community. Because I saw a lot of good things from this community, mashallah, and I can tell you, there is a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, "Al-khayru fi ummati ila yawm ad-din." Khayr is in my ummah till the day of judgment, and I can testify Certain things I cannot disclose, but I can testify that I saw a lot of, mashallah, sincere brothers and sisters in this community. There are people who are donating with money, their time, their effort. Even those, there are people who are not here today. I know they have good reason why they're not here, but I know a lot of people who are committed to this center. They may not be able to come for job reasons, family reasons, whatever, but definitely they are supporting the community and the center, and whenever we need them, they are there. The other thing also, this center built a community. There was no community. Yes, there were like Muslim families in Lexington, but there was no Muslim community in Lexington. This is true. We started having a Muslim community with this center. Otherwise, I wouldn't know Brother Ibrahim. I'm telling you. I mean, I know most of you through the masjid. I wouldn't know probably 99% of the people here, or I knew through the masjid. And probably the same applies to most of you. That's how you got to know all the people you know, and how we got to build these relationships, and these relationships for the kids. It's important for our kids to have a community. It's important for us. Even though we have only 3 prayers a day, we don't take it lightly. It's very important. If you don't have a masjid, I can tell you most of the people, and I've been there. With my job, I cannot go to Burlington. It's too far. It makes a difference when the masjid is 10 minutes away versus 20-25 minutes each way. 7 to 10 versus 20 to 25. School, Sister Jihad, she can testify. She's been running school, Jazakallah khair, for more than 30 years. Renting is even difficult. We've been together in the same experience in Dar al-Arqam. Rent puts another pressure on the people running the school, another cost. And
we are renting here, right?
Sorry?
We are renting here.
But here it's not the school renting. It is the center, like the organization, and the school is running. Versus you just have the school. Now it has to come from the tuition. That's the difference. We are renting here or buying because as a community, not as a school. But again, think of all these events we're having, whether Ramadan iftars, Taraweeh prayer, Eid prayers, barbecues, social events, Friday prayers. Friday prayers is not. Don't take it lightly. It's a very.
I agree. But
Yes.
I think Friday prayer is
No,
just like
yeah.
renting a hall.
But renting the hall, is not that simple.
Because I'm not convinced, honestly. I'm not convinced. I don't see people here at all today. I mean, if you would have done a town hall to support the Muslim and other communities, you would have been flooded with people.
I just want to intervene here for a second.
Just a minute. Just take that.
Assalamu alaikum. You know what? I see your point, Brother Shakur. However, what we are going to miss if we're going to go with the way you are talking about, we are going to miss the sense of community. What the difference between doing these events by renting is not going to bring us together. But having a community, this is our second home, if it's not our first home.
So, Brother Jaleel,
Yes.
just to
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Jazakumullah khair. Go ahead.
So, just a quick question. We don't know the intention of the landlord. If he's gonna sell this property to another people who run a masjid or rent it by law, is he like eligible to buy this place to be like a commercial purpose? That's my first question. The second question: do you think Lexington can accommodate 2 centers, 2 masjid with the same city, if he is in the long term planning to have his own masjid?
Okay.
So how can we,
Okay, let me-
not to like divide and conquer, the community?
Let me start on the first
Which
point.
hurt, yeah, the sense of community that Sister Salim just mentioned.
Okay, let me start on the first point, the first question. The last time we checked as a board, I don't think this is there was, I think he already, at some point, he started to change the zoning of the property to commercial, but that did not happen. All we could do as a board, we want to make sure that MACCLM's name is not used to do that. Okay? But other than that, it's his property, whatever he does, it's with the town. We have no control on it. Okay? It's just, but what we can do, we have to make sure that MACCLM's name is not improperly used for individual purposes. Okay? And this, again, this is nothing personal. This applies to everyone, including us as board members. It's not supposed to be used for personal interest. Anyone who has personal interest, they should look for that somewhere else. This is for the community. Whoever is going to serve, whether as a board member, as a volunteer, as a committee member, please keep in mind that put this center first. Like it should be like you should serve the best interest of this center, even before your own interest. If you cannot do that, it's better if you take a step back. So that's what we can do. Second point, so this is Brother Shams. For those of you who know, Brother Shams is the vice president. He's another board member. He's the one I said he's in the. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he was in the ER. So he got it. Brother Nuruzzaman, because I presented the other board member. Brother Nuruzzaman also he's our mashallah. He's our one of the founders. He's been here from the first day. He's Jazakallah khair. Yani he's been through tough time. Is being like the person is more than a person. Like, he's a whole institution, Jazakallah khair, by himself. Like, he gives us the comfort and the support to continue. When we were starting facing these problems, he was there, and then he gave us all the support. And he said, even though before that he asked to leave for health reasons, we asked him to stay till we get this resolved, and then he accepted, and he's been supportive in all different ways, in all the ways you may think of. Jazakallah khair. So going back to your second question, Brother Osama, we can sit here and we can speculate on different, lot of things that can happen. I don't know, but this is what I can tell you. I look at the problem from a different perspective. Now, we have an organization, which is MACCLM. We've been running a masjid and a community center and a weekend school, and you name it, all these activities now we are into our fourth year. Since Ramadan 2019, we are fourth year, we're going into fifth year. I told you how much cash we have. We had $662,000. Now, if you don't buy a center and continue, what's the other alternative? Basically dissolve the organization and everyone goes home. That's the other alternative. So either you solve this problem, and as a board, it falls on us to solve this problem, okay, with the community, and that's why we have this town hall meeting. And then we continue, inshallah. I can tell you all the masajid, and for the brothers and sisters who've been here for a long time, they know that all the masajid, they've been through something similar. And there are even masajid who are still going through a lot more than this. So, this is not unusual. Yes. Well, it's not just, look, I take it as it's an ibtila from Allah. Allah sometimes tests us as a community. We have to show that we really want this center and we are willing to make a sacrifice for it. Okay, Allah doesn't give you something like, sometimes He wants to test us before He gives you. And I have no doubt that Allah will make it happen for us, inshallah. Whether here or somewhere else, we will find a place, inshallah. We will continue. But we need your support. And we want to be together. If we're going to go into the speculations of what is he going to do, I think, in my opinion, we're going to be wasting our time and energy. Yes.
So I have a comment and a question at the same
Yes,
time.
go ahead.
As a person, I'm always like to be driven by possibility or probability. Okay? I think, we have been interacting with Brother Jaleel, which all of us, I have no doubt, have a lot of respect for him. Period. Not more, not less. Okay? So now the question is, we need to ask ourselves, what's the likelihood for us to basically convince him to make the case to keep the place? If the likelihood, if the likelihood is less than 60% and we're going to keep dragging our feet, I honestly think we should make up our mind and move on with our life. And no hard feelings. We love you, guy. We love you, big guy, and let's move on. But cut the chase and keep trying to make your case. I honestly think this, again, with a lot of respect for him, from all of us, starting with Uncle Zamanuddin. Okay?
Nuruzzaman.
Nuruzzaman. Close enough. Okay. He loves me still. But you see my point? So cut the chase. If you really feel like you tried, and honestly, I feel like everyone tried, and they tried. Maybe they went above and beyond. And if he's not able to get it, and if he's not able to understand that this is very serious, don't waste your time. Move on.
Okay.
Cut and move. And good luck to him, and good luck to us.
Jazakumullah khair. So let me. Yeah. Because I'll go through the part one because it was a question. I think at this point there is little chance to, So I think that's why we had a town. If you remember, some of you were here. We had a town hall meeting before. This is our second town hall meeting, and nothing changed. Even though the last town hall meeting we had it kind of late, in the sense we as a board waited each time we say, what, we need to go to the community, make it public, and then just, somebody comes and say, what, why don't you let me try? Okay, go ahead. And they go and try. And then a few months later, okay, what, let's go. And then somebody else comes and say, let me try with him. Okay, go ahead. And they go. We have this multiple times. So I think we are at this point, we are, and I'll add to that, we have to keep in mind the end date of the lease, or when the lease expires, which is coming soon. So I think we are at the point we have to move on. We have to find another place and then continue as an organization, as a center. Jazakallah khair.
You don't have a choice.
Yes, yeah.
You're wasting your time.
Okay, who else? Somebody?
Sorry.
Malik.
So I'm really shocked to hear that it wasn't written, because in Surah Al-Baqarah, as it says that right? So I'm amazed that it wasn't done that way, being in an Islamic institution. But then again, now that it's done, my question is, I was hoping today that the town meeting will have Brother Jaleel and Sister Sharmeen present here today, so we can directly ask them these questions, because these are solid questions from the community. And considering they still own this place, it's only fair for the community to have them sit down in front of us and ask them these questions directly and put some pressure on them maybe. And this might change their mind. I know it's
okay. Keep going. Jazakumullah khair. So let me answer your questions. So I'm gonna start from where you ended. We sent an invitation as a board to Dr. Br Jaleel and his wife, Sister Shameen. Okay, we cannot force them to come. So as a board, we did our part. We extended the invitation to them, for a special invitation to both of them for this town hall meeting. Now, for the writing, yes, I agree. The law I was referring to in the US law, it comes from Surah Al-Tadain, Ayat Al-Tadain in the Quran, which is the verse of Loan. We call it the verse of Loan in the Quran, the longest verse. If you go and check the longest verse in the Quran, Allah makes it for where he goes in detail about how to make a loan. And in the US, that's one of the contracts that has to be in writing, loan contracts. Okay, it came from the Quran. It's not even a human. It got expanded. They put the real estate stuff here, but the origin of it isn't from the Quran. And just to think about it, Allah is not, He doesn't do things like at random. When He says, write it down, and not just that, write it down and have two witnesses, and the one who is getting the money, borrowing the money, he has to be the one spelling out what is to be written. So he cannot say, no, I did not say this, or they. But anyway, there was a writing. It's not like there was no writing. The lease is a writing, but the problem is it does not reflect the oral agreement, and it does not reflect what was being said to the community. Yes. Get the.
Yeah, just to follow up on what Dr. Sam said. Yeah. So I don't know why we keep saying we respect Br Jaleel a lot. I mean, there's good things he did, but before this community, he took advantage of us. And he did certain other things I wanted to mention, like the land lease with the city and the
Land swap.
Yeah, that he benefited from. He just dropped off and continued to put a lawyer in place. The contract from day one wasn't clear, had landmines in it. So I wouldn't say I respect him. I respect those who come here, they pray, they serve the community, those I respect. So, but the point is, as Osama mentioned, he may want to keep this place, the Lexington Peace Center, because that's the name of his.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
I'm speculating here.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Actually.
Right, he may want to keep this place, and then reside as a masjid. And to be honest, I have a feeling that a good portion of the Lexington and surrounding area, Muslims wouldn't care. It's a place that nearby their home. If there's prayer or an event, they come in, especially if there's food, and we know that usually there's food, people show up. And that's where what Usman said earlier, if we go the legal route, and we understand there is a cost associated with it, that we may actually force him not to be able to do that and divide the community into two. And just to close quickly, right? The legal route would be best discussed and understood by legal counsel from a lawyer who specialized in this type of things. With all respect to you, you're better than all of us in legal matters, but you are not a specific type of lawyer, and you're within it. So you have your own emotions attached and everything.
Yes.
But we can always spend a few $1,000s to get consultations. And if you just ask the usual donors, they would pay it off. So we don't even have to touch $62,000. That's
Okay. Jazakallah khair. Yes, we can do that, and that's still many brothers proposed that, and I told them I'll bring it to the board. Yes, and we will. So let me put it in different words. Yes, we can go to a law firm and have an assessment. Basically, assess what are our chances, cost-wise. Do we have? What can we do here? Yes, I think that's something we need to do. If the community wants, but just the assessment part, it's going to tell you, okay, how much is going to cost you, what are your chances, and so on and so forth. The second part, I don't think there is anything you can do to force somebody to open another organization. What we can do, again, this is what I can tell you, and you don't need a specialized lawyer for that. What we can do is, MACCLM is not owned by anyone. MACCLM as an organization, yes, it's run by the board according to the bylaws and the laws of Massachusetts for non-profit organizations, but it's not, nobody can come and say, no, I own MACCLM, or I'm going to control MACCLM, or I'm going to use MACCLM. This is I can guarantee you. Okay. Now, in terms of all the other stuff, yes, I'm not saying we don't have a legal claims here. We have legal claims. What I'm saying is, it's gonna be tough to force someone to sell. This is, but in terms of the other stuff, there are legal claims. There are things to pursue, and then how to get back some of the money we invested. We have a route. We still that's still on the table. I'm not, if I wasn't clear, we did not give up that. We didn't say like, okay, we're not gonna look into that. That's not. But what I'm trying to tell to the community in terms of a place, it's gonna be tough. And again, I say this with the comment that yes, we are open to go and get some legal opinion. Yeah, that's fine. But just keep in mind, we have some other pressure, which is we need to find a place. Go
Just to
ahead.
clarify,
Yes.
I never mentioned you would wanna take MACCLM over again. There's
Sorry?
nothing in the name. MACCLM, there's nothing in the name, it's just a name.
No, it's not. No, it's not just. It's not just the name. Yes.
But if you were to reestablish this specific location and the Lexington Peace Center or whatever, again, this is where the masjid was, and most people don't even know, are not even aware of what's going on, because honestly, it doesn't reach a threshold where they care enough.
So,
It would be
brother,
a masjid that they can attend.
I want
anytime
to
they
just back him up on one point. This is exactly the point I'm trying to make here is, I understand brother everyone's point that, yeah, let's just forget it. Let's forget it. I think there's a 1.5% chance he'll ever say yes to being in this place. I know there's no chance. But we have to still fight. If you don't fight, you will lose the heart of the community. The community has to know what happened to this place, because you need the togetherness of the community against what happened. This can't happen again for any of the community.
Yes.
Again.
Mhm.
If you don't pursue some level, I don't know whether it's legal, whatever it is, if we can't gather this community to really understand the process, I guarantee you 95% of the community has no idea what anything happened. Br Jaleel is an amazing person, whatever it is. No one knows still. Only these people that are sitting here, we know, but no one else knows, still to this day. If we can't gather the community to really make people understand what happened, whether it's a legal route or a social route, whatever it is, your next place is not going to be successful. For you to guarantee some level of success when you move to a different place, this community has to be together. I don't think that that's been established yet. So to cut ties and say whatever he did, whatever, we're just going to move on. He can open up something here and people will flock to this place.
So when just clarify a quick thing, and then I'll give it. When we said move on, just to be specific, it's just in terms of finding a place. Doesn't mean like we are giving up our whatever rights we have. Just that. Come on, go ahead. Who is next?
Yes.
Try to understand more that point. So what kind of claims you want to raise here? So what do you want the legal advice, or what do you want to do? Do you want us to buy that place or what?
Yes, and I'll explain why, right?
Yeah.
Because in this place, when it was purchased, it was when the market was low, and it was, Brother Mazin can back me up for right now. It was right, and to get a similar place nowadays would cost you a lot more. The money we were given, and all of us here probably going, we were understanding that it's going towards rent that will be used to reduce the cost of the initial purchase, right? So we've been played and taken advantage of. If we go and get another place, which is an option, right? First of all, we don't have the money for it. I will be the first one not to support any non-Islamic interest loan, and I'll be honest about that. I'm totally against it. The fact that Jaleel did it, that's on him. He bears the burden in front of Allah, not us as the community, right? But we need to be able to not lose more of the money. So if it says our chances are high enough that we can force him to continue with the contract because there was conflicts of interest, he's the president of MACCLM, he's buying, selling, whatever he was doing, right? If we can stay here, it would be a big advantage. Even if we pay 100 grants or $100,000 in the legal fees, for example. We would still get, we would still save money.
To force him to sell the house?
So I can tell you, you have only that chance. To force somebody we call to perform, that means to sell, unless you have a written contract. It's going to be really tough. Yes, there are a lot of issues. He has fiduciary duties that he breached, and we have this all recorded. But again, all it's going to come up to is you can get a compensation for what we lost as an organization. No, you cannot. The problem with not having a contract is that's where you cannot force somebody to sell. So it's just to clarify. This is like basic legal stuff. But that said, I take your point. As a board, we need to consider getting an assessment from a law firm on what are our chances and then what's the cost. Yes.
Yes, sir, I have a few things.
Yes.
Can we go to arbitration or mediation, the legal arbitration, so that we don't go to court, we are not becoming legally, but someone like mediator or, something like this.
So what you talk about as legal arbitration, that's usually what happens when you have a contract. The people will say, if we disagree on something, we should go to an arbitrator. So that's already should be stated in the contract.
But the option by
Well,
itself.
the option, he's not willing even to talk to us. Why would he be willing to go to an arbitrator?
An option is that he agreed that he will give us the property in a certain period of time.
But the way he wrote it, it's option to sell for 1 year, which expired. He can tell you it's expired.
But that proves his intention.
I know. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. But I'm telling you, answering your question, the people go to arbitration willingly by their choice. You see what I mean?
Yes.
If we agree, both of us, if we have a transaction and I tell you, look, we have to sign. If we disagree, then we should not go to court. We'll go to an arbitrator.
Okay, another thing,
Yes.
I think we should not have an option. We should not make it an option to dissolve the, mechanism.
Yeah.
What we have to do is drink for a certain period of time till we,
We've been looking into some places, and there are some promising properties, alhamdulillah, lately. So we're taking that seriously as a board, and then if we find something that fits our needs, we will move on, and then we'll buy it, and then the other will deal with all the legal stuff later, because we need to secure a place for ourselves, and then we need to continue. Yes, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, I was a little late. I was stuck in the war, so apologize for that. So what I have, we as a board, we meet on a weekly basis and we discuss all these things in depth. We spend a lot of time, emotion, and energy. So what I have perceived, and which is very evident here, is like there are certain group of people, like even those who are very involved, even they are not aware of what lengths we went to bring Br Jaleel to the table. And Sister Jihad, if I can mention you, if you don't mind, you were one of those. So we had almost 11 or 12 people, because a bunch of us were extremely close to Br Jaleel, including me, pre-transition of the board. And we felt that we can get through his ears to the brain to get some things understood. And we all tried. Brother Akmal, whose kids and Brother Jaleel's kids grew together, so they go long way back. I go somewhat times back, and a lot of people. So just to let it out there that the reason why we are meeting today, one of the big reasons is that we had, since the transition, which happened in a very abrupt fashion, we were not given any transition. It took us almost 6 months to understand the motions of the board, how it functions, what is done, what should be done, and where the keys to the treasures and everything. We had only 2 people who were kind of prior board, Brother Bilal and the Uncle who were there. Most of us were like new inductees, and we were struggling, and we were not getting any response for any questions. Just to get access to the email was a 3-month process before we get access to the MACCLM email. So, but all this while we kept silent because we were all hoping for that Brother Jaleel's, the previous president's intention that eventually at some point of time he will sell it to us. So the reason why I know that some people think that we might be a little opaque in our discussions in the group, the community, and this is where these are coming out of closet meeting kind of, just explaining everything out in the open and asking questions. The primary reason was that we are all hopeful that at some point of time, something might click. For example, when Sister Jihad went like about 3 months ago, 2 months ago, before that, Brother Salim had a discussion. Like there were 11, 12 people who went and tried, and we tried numerous times. I have proof that I texted him at least numerous times, and there's no response. And so the thing is like, we are coming out to discuss to the community that these are the options. None of the options are defined. None of the options are finalized. Because as a board, we're still discussing. We all would love to have this place because this has a soul to it. We all love this place. We love coming to here and we have an interaction. And in fact, like those who have been coming since early days, this whole parking lot was trees. I was involved, like I had blisters in my hand, and we every weekend we will come and cut a lot. I don't know anyone who will go to somebody else's home every weekend and cut unless it's for the community. That's what we did. So just to clarify the fact that like this is all like based on the fact that so in terms of action item, I will request anyone and everyone that if anyone can reach to him, all we desire is have a discussion on the table. If somebody, some way, somehow, may Allah give the Br Jaleel some sense that if we can sit down and discuss, I know he must have qualms. We're happy to hear. If we have a problem, we're happy to move on. If you want to choose some other board, I for one, I'm ready to give away my spot right away. If it helps the community, it helps secure this place, because this is for the future of the kids, our society, our community. And we, for one, I for one can say that we are in it together, inshallah. So we have tried. Every time which comes to the point that hey, I don't know how we're really like if there's a chance that we can leave. We have given up 1.5 years of that time. Now we are scared a little bit, for the lack of better, I'm using scared because now we have 8 months left, 9 months left before our lease expires. We don't want to be kicked out, so we need to figure out what's the next step because most likely we will not get an extension. Either we get the place or we find another place, or may Allah like bless us with this place and inshallah we'll have our future place enjoyed.
Just to comment on what Brother Shams said. I mean, I can spend the whole night talking about what we went through that rough transition. Honestly, all the stuff that did not make sense. We did not even have access to our bank account when we had to pay our speaker for the fundraising event, and then the imam who was doing the Taraweeh and so on and so on. We did not see the lease till I don't know, probably at least 3, 4, 5 months after we had to ask for it, and then all the paperwork. So we were operating in the dark. That's how tough it was. So.
I think you have
Yes,
one
go
other
ahead.
person.
Can you give him?
There is two parties.
Yes.
So landlord and tenant.
Yes.
So we have a lease agreement with him. Everything we should think positively, and every mosque, Br Nuruzzaman was involved in a lot of mosques by around us. So he was like a oldest person over here, and if he was like longest time in USA before us. So it's good thing. So we came together. Like question is like egg first or chicken first, like community first or mosque first. So when Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam migrated in Medina, he built a community first or mosque first. I don't know the answer. So we got made for the mosque. I was with them 3 years. We pray in a church basement, only Tarawih and Juma. And we make a community and we collect money. Like 3 years, we collected like not more than 150,000. Then we got in the property like $1 million almost after that. So good thing we build a community over here because of this property. And Brother Jaleel had intention to give this property to mosque, and he helped us to build this community. Might be he is watching us, we can build this community or not. That's why he keeping silent. He's watching us. We are thinking positively. That's better. And this property is a nice property. Lot of parking lots. Lot of brothers with you guys are working hard and building the community. Even better over here than that other building we pray here. When we pray in the other building, we do not know each other in the separate room. Or in this place, in this hall room, we build together and we need to know each other. That's the positive things. And we collected money. And we have to go forward. We don't have nowhere to get back from. So we need to buy this place, we need to build this mosque, and we have a community already built up. And we collected money that's almost halfway. And someone like Khwaja Hassan after like almost some brothers like 400, so almost $1 million. Now we need to convince Brother Jaleel because he has a good intention. We don't talk about this because the other party, the tenant, he's not like we are tenant, he's not landlord because we together now
So-
this
Do
place.
you have an
And
idea how we can convince them? Do you have an idea how we can convince them?
so we need to talk to him first. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so now,
So let me-
so he's not here in a place, so how we can talk to him? So that's the point, because even the two party and another party is absent, we cannot get to the
Okay,
solution.
so just I'm going to answer. Let me answer your question. So we, as a board, we invited him multiple times, and he's refusing even to talk directly. He wants to talk only through his lawyer. This is the situation. I said, look, I don't want to go into the negative stuff and keep talking about all the wrong things that were done.
But by not doing that, people are still confused.
That's exactly
Okay.
right.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Let me tell you.
Because we've been placated way too many times. Those of us who are upset about this, right? Let's say it as it is.
Okay. We said it, by the way, we said it in the previous town hall meeting. Honestly, I'm going to be honest this time. I don't accept from any community member who comes and say, I don't know. For me, it's their problem because we had the first town hall meeting. We invited people did not show up. I personally, everyone approached me and asked, I gave them the full story. I give facts. I don't give my opinion. I give the facts. So if people don't know, that means because they did not care to know. Okay? Just that has to be clear. And nobody can come and say, I don't know. Well, if you don't know, that means you did not care to know. Let me tell you what happened. When he left, the first thing we got is a letter from his lawyer. The letter says so. Okay. We breached the lease contract because we had the imam for the Taraweeh sleeping in the masjid. This is one. Two, that Ramadan we were trying to prepare this bunker to use. And the brother volunteered and he painted. You see, like this is painted. Brother brought somebody to paint it and then at his own expense. He said, you cannot use it. This is when we were going into Ramadan 2022. Let alone that he gave us a hard time when we were trying to put the tent for our iftar.
Listen,
Let me finish.
hold on, I think you're missing the point here. We know this.
No, but
Hold on. This brother has been sitting here for half an hour. He's understood that we've tried to communicate with Brother Jaleel, and still he has misconceptions about. What I'm trying to say is, just because the community doesn't understand, that's not the community's fault. You have to figure out. It's our responsibility to figure out a way to communicate with the community so they can understand.
okay.
We can't blame the community.
How about this? Why don't we?
Wait,
Just a minute. Please. Just a minute. Hey, brother Rahim. Just a minute. How about this? how about we put all the legal letters there? You read them by yourself and then decide for yourself, make your own opinion. No, seriously, we'll put all the communications we got as a board from him, from his lawyer.
Then do it.
Yes, read them.
I am for
Yeah,
for
like
it.
the communication that we got, we tried not to rephrase anything. We copied, we quoted, and we put it for you to read. Why? So that we stay accurate and then just show the facts. You make your own opinion. The first letter, let me tell you, the first letter to me is like a threat for eviction.
We know
When
this.
I tell you, if the landlord tells you like you're breaching your
We're on your side.
yeah, let me
We know this.
yeah, I know, let me finish. So yeah, so that I'm not preaching. I'm just saying so that nobody comes back and say the community doesn't know. Okay, because each time I say, okay, let's stay away from this, people say, oh, people don't know. Okay, here, people should know now. We've been very patient. We've been trying. Okay, we've been acted with only respect. Even though many of us were insulted, many of us were, I mean, as a board, we're treated in a very bad way. Look, we are all professionals here. Okay, the board members are volunteers. Just remember this, please. The board members are volunteers. They don't have a privilege. They just come and serve. Okay, and we've been pushing ourselves to stay for the sake of the community and for the sake to secure this place for the community. None of us would accept this at a personal level. None of us, I can tell you. But we accepted it just for the community to try to secure this place. But at this point, I can tell you, it's not happening. It's not happening, and we need to find a place. This is the bottom line. For those who want to keep, don't want to find a place, I personally will tell you there is the risk that when the lease ends, we'll not have a place, and then whoever made that decision, they should be the one responsible for that. I'm not going to be responsible for that.
No one's stopping us from finding a place.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes. So that's the bottom line. So, but we tried all we could. If somebody thinks that we didn't and he has a better idea, please go ahead and try.
I think the point that I heard, stop being patient, say it as it is.
And they said that, look,
Because I'm sorry, I got upset when brother says he's like watching us to see how we're gonna do. Who is he?
yes, I agree. Yeah.
I would only accept to be judged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? If he did good for himself in the beginning. But then what he did afterwards, and actually even from the beginning, from day one, from the contract was with bad intention from the way I can see it as a lay person hearing about it. So to be told, we talked to him, he doesn't
brother, let me put it this way. And then I'll leave it to Brother Nuruzzaman. Let me just give one point. Okay. And this is my advice to myself first, because I'm acting in the board, and for everyone in the board and everyone outside the board. Never deal with a masjid or a non-profit organization with the sense of ownership. Okay? Nobody owns it. It's for the community. We serve. We are here in the board. Maybe next month or next year, I won't be here. Others won't be here. Somebody else will be here. This is for the community. When it comes to ownership, we all serve. We agree, disagree. At the end, we decide as a community, and whatever we decide, we move on with it, and that's it. The problem is we've been faced, especially part of this transition with different people, is there is this strong sense of ownership. I think that's the problem. Without personalizing it, without saying X, Y, or Z, in general, and I can tell you, and I mean it really in general. It's not just one person or two people or whatever. This is happening. I can see it a lot. That's a problem when we start, okay, oh, this is mine. I have to control it. My opinion is the one, that has to be adopted. And if not, I'm out of here. Or you know what, I'm going to be against it. This, unfortunately, this has been a kind of a very bad pattern, and which we, as a community, we have to get away from. Go ahead, Brother Nuruzzaman. I'm sorry for.
Assalamu alaikum. Brother and sister, I had a knee surgery recently in Brigham, and I saw Brother Samson running with his masjid outfit. I thought maybe he's coming for my screens this time. So, So, so he didn't come this part, he just stopped there. So, what I will just say general things that we have a community, no doubt about it. Nobody is going to take away our community. This is just an inconvenience we are going through, that whether we have this place or not, we have pretty good chance that we will have this place. And we are working legally and, lawyers. They said that if these things happens, don't just, try to stay quiet. This is usually the normals when you have a case, you don't talk about it, you just go through it and see what happens. Now, before, Dr. Jaleel didn't even talk, didn't respond, lawyer didn't respond, but now we are putting more pressure. He is responding, and we'll know sooner or later, that what his next step is. He cannot just throw us out, that not that easy. Before that, we will have this place, or I can only promise you that if we lose this place, no big deal, we'll have another place. We'll have another place. So this is nothing. Our community is going to stay together, A community, nobody is going to break the community. We are looking outside. We had a couple of close calls. We made offers. We are still trying. So meanwhile, we are not doing rushing things like that, because we are working on this one for a resolution. So please, just be calm, and we don't have to worry about it. I mean, whether it's a cultural center or peace center, Lexington Peace Center does not only exist in paper yet. MACCLM is working on it. There are 400 pages of reports. Dr. Jaleel did the land swap, all other things. It's all in the name of MACCLM. Okay, so the MACCLM city knows only MACCLM. So if it goes to the court, we have pretty good case, but we don't want to do that. Before that, we will have a settlement. And I like the sister's advice. Is there any mediation and things like that? We tried mediation among our community. It didn't work. But if necessary, we can get outside mediation. But I don't think we have to go that far. Now, worst case scenario, if we have to move out from here, we'll move out. This is not a big deal. We get another place. There's a lot of place available. Only we are looking to meet our requirements. For example, the size and our activities. Initially, we might not get that. We might get a building like the other one. This is a extra, that it was actually a repair shop, car repair shop. But now we are using it for other activities. But for a building, we are looking for the land so we can build our own driveway and parkings and everything. So all I want to assure you, just please relax and don't get too worried or excited. Things is moving pretty good in a positive direction. This is one part of the things. Another part, no matter what we do, we need some money, Okay, we need some cash from you, from the community too. We have about $600,000. We need another $600,000 to meet all the expenses. If we'll try not to take loans from it. So we'll ask your friends, so they give us some, whether you call it loan without interest or Karja Hasana, doesn't matter. You will give us, instead of keeping money in the bank, you will give your community the loan for short time. And then if necessary, we'll refinance it immediately. We might have to buy sometimes cash purchase because we save money that way. And if we do, we can refinance it. The bank is already has given us commitment letter, so bank is ready to give us money. We'll co-sign. Few brothers among us has assured us that there will be no problem. So ultimate result is positive. We have a center. We are looking for places. We are also sometimes trying to this one. This is a lot of money we spend for that. That's why we ask brother and sister, give us your kind of a statement in writing, why you joined this center, MACCLM, how much you paid, why you paid, and who motivated you to pay that money. It's me or brother Milad or brother Jaleel. We had a lot of function here and there. We are in Eid party, Ramadan, Ramadan fundraiser, and what do they tell us? What we tell you that what the money will be used for. So whatever, for example, I have given about $60,000 in last 4 years. Now, why would I give $60,000 just to pray here? The Burlington Mosque, we have been praying for a long time, short distance away, because we wanted our community in Lexington. And Dr. Jaleel helped us in a sense that he bought the place, speed up the process. He put all us together. So we respect him. We are not saying any bad things. Last time I talked to him, I said, you are the founding member, no question about it. But you have put us in a situation that we know we cannot get out. So all I'm saying that he has helped us. We have respect for him. Please don't say any bad things against him because that doesn't help anyway. So all I'm saying, we are working in two fronts. One is legal and one, persuasive way. And plus the third way that we are looking for places. Today, I think you went someplace, today. We spent a lot of time on that, looking for places, we are very active. So no problem finding a place, but we love this place. So that's why we are trying that if we adjust everything, our effort, that we cannot buy this place, then we'll go and buy one outside. So please do not say it will hurt the community. It will making our community stronger, because we are going through these upheavals and still we are together. So please just keep in mind that either we stay here, we will know in few months' time, you stay here or you go another place. If we go another place, we need your cash a little bit. Just be practical. You need cash for short time, and then if you want it back, we'll refinance it and pay you back. So that's all I wanted to say. Just assure you that you don't need to worry too much about it. We are here, we are functioning, and we keep doing that. Okay? That's inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Nuruzzaman.
We love you, brother Nuruzzaman.
So
Talk too much.
just quickly, this is what we can do. We'll keep you updated in every step we take. If you have any comments, any questions, the board members, feel free, approach us with whatever it is, questions, comments, proposals. We'll take it, inshallah. And then we'll every step we take.
Are we going to open the transactions what we had so that community understand? Like brother, here asked the question. He's watching us, or still he's good or something. Are we going to open those? I think that's all.
So as I said, we'll make public whatever we can. Okay. So the community will know. And by the way, we shared a lot with the community. Look, if we send a message in WhatsApp and people don't read it, what else can we do? We put it on the website, we send it on WhatsApp, and then we send it via email, and people don't read it. There is nothing else to do. So the community members have to do also their part. They have to understand that we are in a serious situation, okay, and they have to take it seriously. At least by being part of it. Anyway, Jazakumullah khair. As I said, we'll update you with any steps, and then we'll have, inshallah, follow-up town hall meetings, inshallah. I'll close the meeting, and then we'll start the prayer, inshallah. Yeah, we'll pray here.
Can I say something before you close?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I'm fairly new to this community, and I wanted to read Dua Ibrahim before you close, if you could allow me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this is important to me. This is ibtila, this is a test, as many of you have said, and the one watching, we manage this ibtila. So I wanted to read Dua Ibrahim to remind us to put all this passion and energy in our dua, for Allah to guide us to the best resolution to this situation. So I'll read in Arabic and I will translate, and thank you for indulging with me. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ربنا إني أسكنت من ذريتي بواد غير ذي زرع عند بيتك المحرم ربنا ليقيموا الصلاة فاجعل أفئدة من الناس تهوي إليهم وارزقهم من الثمرات لعلهم يشكرون. O Lord, I have settled some of my progeny in an arid valley near your holy house, our Lord, so that they should establish your worship. So make the hearts of men incline towards them and provide them with fruits in order that they may be grateful.
Jazakumullah. Jazakumullah.